frenzy is going. Of course, the tension is almost palpable now. It is officially 15 days to the kickoff of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. And of a number of teams, South Africa, Cameroon, Tunisia, Morocco, they've listed their final roster for the tournament. And of course, news coming from Nigeria is the fact that, allegedly there has been a disagreement, so to say, between Jose Peseiro and officials of the Nigeria Football Federation about the number of players who will be included in the final list. Peseiro wanted 25, and we heard that the NFF wanted 27. And okay, let's also talk about a few things. But before then, I'll welcome Kyle Dogundari and James Agrebi to the show. Guys, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Femi. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, happy to be here today, Femi. Thank you very much.
All right, okay. Unless I forget to introduce myself, my name is Asha Femi. Of course, like we told you, 15 days to the kickoff, and we want to thank all our fans across the world for working this journey with us. We have just a few countries to touch now before we round off our daily countdown. But let's quickly bring you into some of the news, coming out of preparation for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. A number of countries, they've, of course, reviewed where they will be camping, and notably, Ghana, they've moved their camping from South Africa back to Kumasi because there was a backlash in the country. People accused the GFA of failing to consider the financial implication as well as the weather difference between South Africa and Cote d'Ivoire. So they have moved. They've moved the Black Stars are camping from South Africa back to Kumasi. Then we have a lot of other countries where they'll be camping. And for Super Eagles of Nigeria, for the NFF, well, we still do not know why the NFF decided to move their camp to Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, because they also said they've been suffering, financial constraints. But if you're going to be camping 25, 27 players in that kind of place, then it means you have money. And of course, 16 match bonuses. We heard that the NFF are yet to pay the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And these players are expected to do well at the AFCON. It is more like the NFF are trying to shoot themselves in the foot. Of course, more still news coming from the Confederation of African Football. Yesterday, the CAF revealed that 12,544 Nigerians have bought up tickets for the tournament. Then Ivory Coast has expected 32,307 persons have bought tickets. Guinea-Bissau, 28,614 Guinea-Bissau fans have bought tickets. Equatorial Guinea, we have 16,237 tickets have been sold to fans from that, so to say. And of course, also before we move to discussing country that we're looking up to today, which is 15 days to the kickoff, we also have the fact that CAF said most of the tickets that have been sold are for the following games: Cote d'Ivoire versus Guinea-Bissau, Cote d'Ivoire versus Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea versus Guinea-Bissau, Mozambique versus Ghana. Then we have Senegal versus Cameroon, we have Guinea versus the Gambia, and we have Egypt versus Ghana. So please keep these matches in your diary because these are games that people have already almost bought up all the tickets. Now, let's get into the crux of today, 15 days by his coach, Kada Diawara, just because of a missing shirt. James Cowdy, I know you're familiar with these stories, excuse me, but I'll go with you first of all, James. Maybe I should quickly bring our fans into what actually happened. What happened was in June this year, Guinea and Brazil, they played an international friendly, which ended 4-1 in favor of Brazil. And of course, Sylla exchanged a jersey with Vinicius Junior, Real Madrid, and Brazil forward. And after the game, the jersey got missing. Sylla wasn't happy with it. He accused some of his teammates in the dressing room. And eventually, some of his teammates pointed to the coach that the coach actually took the jersey. And he confronted the coach, and he allegedly called the coach a thief. And that cost him a place in the final roster for the AFCON. Very, very good midfielder. A lot of people have said he was going to run things in the midfield with Naby Keita, plays for Werder Bremen, the former Liverpool guy. James, I'll come to you. The task is daunting for Guinea. But in this situation, who would you blame?
I mean, the thing is, for me, I think those are still speculations because there's no confirmation that this is
exactly. That's what I said allegedly.
this is
Yeah.
exactly what really happened. I saw the story on one of the foreign sites. I've read it in another um, media outlet, but kind of a disparity between the way they presented it. So I don't know. So it's so difficult to say, okay, this is the exact reason, you know. I think we have to wait till the coach. I know that it's going to be questioned. That's if because once you announce your spot for a major tournament, I know at least you have to give reasons why this player is not there, why this player made it, you know. So I want to believe that should come up. Because aside that, I want to believe that these are just mere speculation. But when I read it, it would be so crazy for a player to go all out against his coach and start insulting his coach because of coach exchange jersey with a superstar. You know, led to his being excluded from the squad. You know, so that's why I think it would be so good if the coach can come out and clarify things. Why was he injured or is he out of form? The player is mean because this is one of the top player. Because I mean, when I read it, I was surprised that Jesse can lead to the decision of a player. You know, so I mean, with me, they didn't manage the issue well, and it all came out. And you know, once something like this comes out to the public domain, it becomes everybody's food, and they start selling it the way they like. So let's just see if it will be possible for the coach to come out and clarify things for me.
Okay. The best outing that Guinea has had, or they've had at the AFCON, was 1976 when they finished second place in Ethiopia. But with what James said, I want to believe that even if that was what actually happened, I wouldn't expect the coach Caldera to come out and say that was what actually happened. But wouldn't it be silly? Because I saw this story first on the foreign side, Daily Mail, to be precise. And the way they presented it was more like an in-depth and insider giving them what actually happened. But regardless of what it will be, if it is not for footballing reasons, don't you think that it really be silly for the coach to have left this guy out because of just a personal difference?
Well, it's very, very absurd what has happened so far, Femi, in this situation. And if I'm going to blame any party, I'll blame the FA because they allowed this to degenerate to what it is today. When this issue didn't just bust out yesterday, it had generated over a period of time. They could have nipped it in the bud as at the right time. Call everybody to order. This should be the end of this talk. So they would have known if this was likely going to happen. But if you leave things untouched, probably because you didn't want to offend the coach or the player, eventually this is what you get. Whether the guy gets called up or not, it's going to have an effect on their preparations and eventual participation. We are not saying the guy is indispensable. What if he failed, if he was injured or he drops down dead, God forbid? Wouldn't they have carried on with their AFCON campaign? Yeah, they would. But the fact is, all of these distractions are needless. I mean, they are needless. You don't need all of this. This was something that could have been avoided if they wanted to avoid it. And I'm not going to absolve anybody, the player, the manager, and the FA. They all have a part in this.
So, Kyle, you are putting the buck stops on the table of the FA first, and the
Absolutely.
manager and the player.
Yes.
Okay. James, let's look at their group. Of course, they are in their group is also does not even also make it even quite easier for them, because when you're playing against Senegal, Cameroon, and the Gambia, you might even want to flex muscle with the Gambia. Though Guinea, they've been around, they have a pedigree to some extent at the AFCON, but with such a huge distraction, you know, it's like how they said, it's more like their chances have been hugely distracted, because now I'm even thinking ahead at the first press conference. I think this is what the coach is going to be confronted with.
Yeah, talking about their pedigree, for me, they don't really have a pedigree when it comes to the AFCON. I mean, I think teams like Burkina Faso even have pedigree when it comes to the AFCON compared to Guinea. Just like what you said now, 1976, That was when they finished runners-up. Since then, they've not done anything meaningful. So I don't think they have a better chance for compared to a team like the Gambia. You know, I can even still put them in the same category because fine, in the past, they've had good players in the past, Kamara and the Pascal Fenduno and the rest. You know, but what have they really done in the AFCON that you want to place them even above teams like the Gambia? Even when they finished second at the 1976 AFCON, well, not as if it was true. It was a kind of a different format where after from this group stage they kind of played a round robin, 4 teams of Nigeria, Morocco, Guinea, and I think Zaire, and they played themselves. They've been doing averagely well. They have not played above Gambia. They've not really done much to say I want to please them. Okay. You know, it's possible that they won't crash out from the group stage. Honestly, you know, so they'll give everything a decent game. But in that group, I mean, I'm not really banking on them, unless maybe they finish as one of the third best runner teams. Aside that, I am not really fancying them to do anything impactful at next AFCON.
Okay, guys, before after the Guinea, talking about this Guinea issue, I want us to talk about the GFA, response of the GFA to the backlash at home, and of course the response of the quietness of the Nigerian Football Federation to criticism of taking the Super Eagles to UAE just in 2 minutes. Like I said, looking at this group, Senegal, Cameroon, on paper, these are the 2 tough teams. And with what is going on with Guinea now, though, if you look at it, they have players scattered all over the place. We have the likes of experienced Naby Keita, who now plays for Werder Bremen. But would you say they still stand a chance, or they could stand the chance, or take advantage of a slip-up between even Cameroon or even Senegal?
I think you are discounting what Gambia could possibly do in the group. And that, for me, is an advantage for them, because when everybody has underestimated you, is the right time to show what you're capable of. I think it's going to be a straight shootout between, while everybody seems to have considered the group ticket, the group leadership to Senegal is obvious because they are defending champions, they have pedigree, they have everything. And I tell you that Cameroon are not necessarily better than Gambia at the moment. The same with Guinea and all of their internal problems. So unwittingly, these teams might probably play into the hands of Gambia, and I would not be shocked if I see them get out of the group. I won't be shocked.
Okay. James, I'll come to you first. Remember, the Nigeria Football Federation, they revealed that the Eagles will be camping in Abu Dhabi. And according to the NFF Communications Director, Ademola Olajire, he said, expert, that was what he said. He said, expert advised the NFF to allow the Eagles camp in Abu Dhabi, that is in the United Arab Emirates, because of the weather. He said the weather is close to what you have in Ivory Coast. But people said Ghana, Togo, even Togo that speaks French with Cote d'Ivoire, they all have a similar weather. Why take them that far? Now, the NFF didn't say anything, but because of the backlash at home in Ghana, the GFA quickly moved their arrangements from South Africa back to Kumasi. Quickly, James, how would you compare the two before Kayode respond?
Well, just like for me, I think I've got a bunch of confused football house. I mean, I don't know. You're thinking when I heard that story of going to Abu Dhabi to camp for a competition that's so close to you here. I mean, all
and
of a sudden
your
now,
players. Ghana, you're saying you don't have money,
and they complain they don't have money. Now Ghana quickly they now change. So why are you changing now? They gave a reason why they wanted to go out to start camping away from home. All of a sudden now you are now coming back close to home now. So where is this confusion coming from? So, I mean, I think the less said about all these things, the better. Because sometimes you see you are just going around in circle, So I don't know. I think, like I said, it's just a bunch of confused football, but people don't even know what they are doing. I mean, you have a competition so close to you. You're now traveling abroad to prove what? To get away from distraction or what? I mean, there's nothing they want to hide from us that we don't know about them. So let's just leave it at that.
They said, okay, Kayode, according to GFA, they said they're trying to run away from the prying eyes of the media. But I thought James was going to even give them kudos for at least for turning around, because people complain about the financial implication, of course, the weather disparity. And I'm sure the reason that, okay, the criticism might be actually be constructive. I thought James was going to give them kudos compared to the Nigeria Football Federation, who are planning to take 27 players to Abu Dhabi.
I do not give them any credit for anything, Femi. This does not sound like an FA that is serious about anything. They knew they were going to play this AFCON the day they qualified. So how and why they will leave camping decisions to 2 weeks to the competition is what I would not understand. And so for me, there's nothing to applaud in this issue. It just shows desperation. It shows indecisiveness. It shows unseriousness. These are the reasons why many people don't tend to take us serious in Africa, because you leave things to the last minute before you remember, oh, I should be doing this, I should have done this. It's so criminal. I don't get to understand it. So Ghana has not done anything spectacular. If they are going to play in Ivory Coast, they are next door neighbors, Femi, and you chose to go. No matter, I don't care what the condition is in Abu Dhabi, you will know that it is easier and better to camp at home. This is what they are doing now because people raised eyebrows. Why didn't any of you smart Alex, why didn't you think about it before it degenerated to this? So the plan that they didn't have, they have to work on it now to camp players in a camp where they do not believe in initially. So I think I blame the FA. That's just it. So there's nothing to be proud of in what they have done.
All right. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for your incisive analysis on the show today. Thank you, Kyle and Jeff. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let me see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow, Femi.
All right. Okay. So the Guineans, they are not making the journey easier for them at all. Even before they kick a ball at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations, we hope that this is not going to constitute any distraction to them on the pitch, because as it were now, certainly the coach, the FA, and some of the players might be confronted with issues regarding the ban on, of course, on Sylla not coming to the AFCON. Thank you so much, guys, once again for being with us since we begun this countdown. Tomorrow is to be 14 days, 2 weeks to the kickoff of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations, and tomorrow we'll be going to another country to see how they're preparing for this football fiesta. I remain Achalolu Afemi. See you all tomorrow.